such a long cook. It's about 13 to 16 hour cook. So these won't come off until about midnight tonight. They went on a little late today. So we do them all in day in advance. These will be served tomorrow. We did about 125 yesterday, quite a bit. But yeah, as you can see, each meat pit has its own firebox. So this is where all of our heat, all of our smoke comes from, is right here, this firebox. There's no direct flame beneath the meat at all. It's all coming from right here. The firebox is about 2 feet lower than the meat chamber. Fire needs oxygen and it rises, so it's constantly pulling in air from outside, goes up a ramp, and waves its way through the pit of the stack. So that when it's pulling air through and goes up the ramp, it builds up enough momentum to carry that smoke over the meat and then out the stack. So the more flame I have, the more draw I'm going to have.
Do they go quiet and unlit part of the day, or are they going?
There's about maybe 4 hours in a. Probably from about 12 to 4, 11 to 3, there's nothing on here, there's no meat on here, but we'll usually leave them smoldering. We'll use some of the coals in the morning to get the rib fires going. We put our ribs on about 3 or 4 in the morning. Yeah, all that's cooked same day, but our briskets are the only thing we do a day in advance. So one of the things we do here with the fire is we're constantly trying to work them so we have the ideal smoke. We don't want a lot of smoldering going on. If you see a lot of big black smoke coming from a stack, what you're looking at is wood that's been unburned. You're seeing particles of wood in the smoke. That's why it's so dark. We're after kind of a cleaner smoke, kind of a blue haze, where all the wood's been burned down, most of the particles are burned down, and that kind of light haze is where all the good curing properties are in smoke. All the good things that happen when you smoke meat come from a clean fire. So we're constantly working our fire, trying to just have a good steady burn. You can see how most of that flame's directed towards the pit. Got some good flow. But you guys, we could split up. Do you want to, Josh? Do you want to take a couple in your pit?
Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, come on in. We're not even halfway through the cook. Let me do this one too.
About 25, 26 briskets per pit.
So yeah, these are briskets. There's 2 of them on a cow. They're kind of pectoral muscles here. And there's kind of a lot of fat on these. This is the moist end here. Lean end here. Whenever you get up to a block and they ask if you want to cut a moist or lean, they're asking if you want to cut a brisket primarily from here or here. All that means there's a lot more fat cover on a moist, a lot less fat top on a lean, so there's more fat being run down this part of the section of the brisket than here.
What do you eat?
I personally like the lean, but I'm probably in the minority for most Texans. There's a lot of fat in a brisket. It has to break down. It takes the entire cook to get that fat to break down. As it does, we call it sweating, and that moisture rises to the surface. Smoke is attracted to moisture, so as that grease breaks down and rises to the surface, it combines with the salt and pepper and the smoke and builds up the spark throughout the day.
Is that just salt and pepper?
It's just salt and pepper. Yep, that's all that is. Yeah, so we're right in the early stages. You can kind of see some of that darkness building up, a couple puddles. It's good. It's getting there. It's good to see when you get up to the block or when you look at your plate, you're going to see a nice thick layer of bark. And that's what we're trying to achieve. A lot of this meat is so, it's such a tough piece of meat. A lot of that flavor sometimes doesn't penetrate the meat so much, and it stays in that bark. It's one of the reasons that bark is so flavorful. That salt and that pepper has kind of stayed there. The smoke does penetrate though. We keep blocking logs in the front to keep that front row from getting too hot. It's much hotter up here. We never have meat much further than where we have it now. And we're constantly rotating every couple hours to keep put the ones in the back up front and so forth. We constantly rotate them every 2 hours. We don't flip them over. Some people do, but we don't. We don't do that.
And how long do you smoke your brisket?
13 to 16 hours. So probably 14 hours today. Quite a bit.
This must be really hot in the summer.
It is. Even this week was kind of brutal. Thursday was brutal. So still just getting in brisket shape. What a joy. There probably isn't a better smoking wood in the country. But it's special. It's kind of, there isn't a lot of it outside of where we are. So one of the reasons you may not see a lot of Texas kind of style barbecue in places around the country because they don't have the wood. They're burning hickory. Hickories might be fine. Apple. A lot of that's fine, but there's really nothing like this wood. It's just kind of fun. We let it season for about an hour and a half. We want that, want it dried out. We want to retain some of the moisture in there, but not too much. So this wood we have here is actually perfect.
So how did you learn to do this?
Just practice. Yeah, a lot of practice. We need to smoke. We need to keep it low, so you don't want it too much flame. But yeah, I'll open the doors in a second, guys. This is sauce. I'm not sure if we have original or jalapeno on there right now. We'll find out. I do a couple 4 a.m. cooks a week, so this is I'll usually do beef ribs back here and pork ribs here. This is a strong pit. This is a really, really good pit. Looks like original. So we have original on. That's a lot of sauces. Wow. I hadn't opened up these doors yet. I didn't put them on. But yeah, so those are looking good. We try to cook them nice and low, about 150, just to get that meat cooking, and then we'll bump up our temperatures by about 25 degrees to get the casing right. We want when we poke, we want that casing to snap. We don't want it to be chewy. So we cook it low, and then after about 2 hours, we bump up the temperatures and get that nice snap on the casing. Doesn't look like I did much there. These probably were spaced out all right, actually. Sometimes you want to turn a little. Any of you do any smoking at home?
Not me. Nothing. We smoke, but yeah.
Do you? What do you smoke? Salmon?
Mostly pork.
Oh, nice.
I'm so excited about this, actually. And our farm. We have our farm.